So, on the 24th of April, Linda said, I'm looking for an electric oven or stovetop for our off-grid property. Any recommendations that don't use heaps of wattage, ideally looking for a 6-burner stovetop that we have. If it's just you and your husband, you're a retired couple, you hardly eat anything, you hardly cook at home, your need would be very small and you could probably get away with an air fryer. If it's just maybe 3 people in the house, needs are very small, you could possibly get away with a smaller type of oven, maybe a bit bigger than an air fryer, maybe a microwave oven or something even bigger than that. So whether you use an oven that fits into a medium or large scale is going to be determined by the available power. Further down in the Q&A, you did say that you're getting more solar and battery and you will have an 18 kilowatt and 28 kilowatt battery in the next week. We know you've got an 18 kilowatt inverter and a 28 kilowatt hour battery bank. This is definitely going to be big enough to run an oven, but you're going to have to look at what is it that you want to do with a stove. If you want to have a 6-plate burner stove, I'm going to go with the 6 plates being gas and the oven being electric. The type of oven you need to look at would probably be ovens that have a slightly higher energy efficiency rate. So newer ovens have double skin glass doors. They have thicker insulation on the side of the oven, which means that they keep more of the heat inside. So Linda, to answer your question, depending on how cost efficient you guys are and how cost efficient you want to be, you might find that propane is going to be cheaper, or wood is going to be cheaper, or maybe even a solar cooker is going to be cheaper than using an oven. But an 18 kilowatt inverter with a 28 kilowatt hour battery pack is quite a sizable system. So you guys must have spent quite a bit of money on this installation. And I'm kind of guessing this system would be able to run a new oven. You've got to just be aware of what you're running. So maybe do yourself a favor, get yourself an online tool for your inverter and the battery so that you can monitor the state of charge of the batteries and you understand when to use the oven and maybe when to cut back and maybe do some stuff on the stovetop instead of using the oven itself. We've covered the inverter size, we've covered the battery size. We said that you should ideally bake in sun hours, which isn't always the case, but if you are going to be doing catering, you can do some of the processes can be done during the day. Alternatives, utility, you already said you're off grid, so utility I'm kind of guessing is out of the equation. Generators are hideously expensive to run, especially if they run on fuel. They could easily be 10 times more expensive than a solar system in cost per kilowatt hour. Propane, I'm going to probably be slated for saying this, but if you are used to running an electric oven, a propane oven is going to change your baking process, because one of the things that is a byproduct of propane in the baking process is moisture. If you do cakes, bread and that kind of thing, it's going to affect how your product turns out. So if you are used to specific recipes with specific outcomes, this might have an impact on what the cakes look like, how long they take, and how much moisture is still contained in the baked goods once they come out the oven. Wood, yeah, I don't know if you guys stay far out, and it is possible to use wood as a source. If you are used to using an oven, it's going to be difficult moving over to wood. And then solar cookers work fine. The issue with a solar cooker is you don't always have sun, and with solar cookers you got to kind of turn the oven so that you've got the solar cooker facing the sun all the time. In certain parts of the world, this is going to be a challenge depending on what the angle to the sun is and the season that you're in. So, Linda, summary. If your inverter and your battery is big enough, you can have your 6-plate stove and electric oven. But you've got to be aware of what the battery state of charge is, how much energy you're going to be taking, and the best thing I would recommend or suggest is maybe to buy yourself a data logger, or make sure that your inverter pushes information back onto an online portal or onto an app so you can see how well the batteries are charged, how much power you're using, and kind of estimate whether there's going to be enough power to run the things in and around the house. 18 kilowatt inverter is substantial, and it should work fine. On an oven, you're just going to have to be aware of what you're doing and when you're doing it and how long you're going to be doing it for. And that kind of brings us to the end of the video. I'm hoping with what we've had on the whiteboard over here that has contributed to answering your question. If you did end up watching the whole video, thanks for watching. Good luck with the baking.